All right, everybody, welcome back to the channel. River Rats Total Outdoors. We are in the shop today and we have everything in total disarray. Not like it is usually really spotless and clean in here, but this whole video is about trying to change the garage into well, when we built this house 5 years ago, we went from a one-car garage. It was literally a little bit smaller than this one stall over here. And we lived in that house for basically 18 years. And it had basically a 10 by 28 garage, big enough for one car and some crap in the back. And I always wanted a bigger garage, but the way things happen, we just never could get out of that house until about, I think it was 2019 when we went to the Parade of Homes, and this particular development that we're in, it came about in 2007, 2008. That was right during the real estate crash, and it sat empty forever. And I was just under the assumption once they started building in here that my timing was off again. Because what it does is these lots are all split into like we have a little bit under 3/4 of an acre, which ain't much. But the good thing is they back up to state land. And well, not technically. My lot doesn't technically back up to state land. But at the end of my lot, right over there, it's what they call an outlot, which means nobody can ever build on it. It's basically community property. If I go out to that outlot and head west probably about under 1/4 of a mile, I hit state land. And that state land just so happens to be the state land that I do a lot of things on, which include, walking my dog on the snowmobile trails, like hunting, camping. Like we already had a lot of activities that we did on that state land. And I was just assuming when we started looking and started realizing that, hey, we can sell our current home, make a lot of money, because you all know what the real estate market was in like 2019. It was right before COVID and everything else, but prices were way up. I just assumed that we wouldn't get a lot that backed up to the state land, which I was correct. We didn't get a lot, but we got really close to it, and we got one of the only wooded lots left in here that backed up basically directly to state land. So we bought it. But when we bought it, we decided that we each had one thing when we were going through the house building process that we wanted in the house that could not be thrown away. We had to make other concessions for that one thing. For my wife, she wanted a full-size tub in the master bath, which we made that work. I wanted a bigger garage, and we made that work. Believe it or not, they were right around the same price that it added to the house. So I got a garage. It's basically a 30 by 40 attached garage with, I think they're like 11-foot 10 ceilings, like right around 12-foot ceilings. I always say 13-foot ceilings, but they're not. Technically, if you're standing up in the attic, it's right around, your feet are 13 feet off the concrete here. The reason I know that is because when I was setting up the attic, I fell through onto my head and spent basically the better part of 2021 in recovery from a massive brain injury and broken bodies. Part of the brain injury coming out right there. Broken bones, a lot of them, which I'd never broken a bone before that fall. So, and a broken head, broken jaw, broken ear, broken everything. So I spent a long time recovering from that. And I haven't been able to get the garage sorted out since then. And thank God I did recover, because there was no guarantees in that. I am very fortunate, and I worked my ass off, to put it lightly, to get everything back. Which everything's not back, but it's close enough that, I mean, it's been 5 years. So we'll get more into that at some different video. I don't want to get into the whole thing here, but I'll play a video right now. I tried to make a video when I got back home out of the hospital, and I'll play a little short snippet of that video right here. You'll see the difference. And if you go back to original videos on my channel, you'll really see the difference. I haven't always talked out of one side of my mouth. I have a lot of nerve damage. So, if you've been following this channel since its beginning, like, I don't even know, 7 or 8 years ago, you'll know that I had about a year off in 2021 where I didn't make a video. And then I just slowly rolled back into videos. I mean, we did move and everything else. I didn't make videos during then. And then basically about a year and 2 months after we moved, I had the fall, January 17th, 2021. We moved in here October 31st, 2019. So it was a year and 3 months, whatever, pretty close. But I had a year where I didn't even pretend to turn out a video. And that was that year. I was doing everything I could to recover. All right. Well, this video wasn't supposed to be about all this, but we're going to leave it in because it's part of the story of the garage. Basically, ever since then, the garage has been in disarray. I'll show you around the garage. You can see that's my wife's car back there. I'll turn the camera around. If you look up against the wall, like right in this area, that's an elevator that goes up into the attic. That's what I was setting up. And if you look up on the ceiling right there, you can see I have the elevator blocked off right now. I have a block up there that I only use the elevator when I absolutely have to. So I get up on a ladder and I take that board down, and then it goes up and down. If you see, like right up in this area, right here, that's where my body came through. And if you look down on the cement down here, I don't think it's going to show up in video because we don't have good lighting over here. If you look down on the cement over here somewhere, oh yeah, it's still there. I'm going to mark about right there. Right here, right where my foot is, that mark, that's where the back of my head hit the ground. So, show you the rest of the garage here. So I've slowly been fixing up parts of it, but I mean, it was literally a year of complete disarray. I added that door in, that door right there. The builder wanted too much money to add a door in, so I added that door in, and then I had stuff kind of set up here before my fall, and I've made changes since then. So we are going to completely change this garage. You can see my battery chargers right over here. That's going to change. That gun cabinet is probably going to stay there. It might change gun cabinets. But we're going to add electrical. We're going to add a whole bunch of stuff. And the one thing I haven't shown yet is this junk over here. These two, the red one and the black one, used to be my tool storage. Well, I'm a big Dewalt fan. I'm not really a fan. I'm just kind of married to the Dewalt system. My son got me that Tough System box down on the bottom. I added the other two with Christmas money. And then I added a bigger toolbox because that red Craftsman right there, as you can see, the bottom box all kicked in. That don't work. That second from the down big drawer, that don't work. And one of the other big drawers is sticking and not really working too well. So we're replacing that. And that other Ironton box. So I'm not really replacing that. I'm still going to use that. So the plan is all tools are going to go up over here. We're going to remove these white shelves completely. I got other stuff coming for that. The big box that you guys are on right now, aluminum on the floor, that big box that you guys are on right now is going to go back in this area. Up above that is going to be my charging station for the Dewalt. I have other boxes coming for up here. And because I don't like stuff on shelving being able to be seen. So, and I never have. So we are gonna change all that stuff. Eventually that big heater will actually be hooked up. I haven't ran the gas line out and up yet. I have it stubbed to the wall, and I'm gonna run it up that wall through the attic, which even after I hadn't had the attic set up yet. Even after my fall, it took me a year and a half to be able to get back in the attic. Nobody in my family wanted me to. I didn't want to. The first time I went up there, because I have a stairway to go up there. First time I went up there, I was a little bit floored. Like I didn't want to be up there. So, I mean, I fell through the ceiling onto my head, and truth be told, I died right over there, that spot on the ground. My backyard neighbor, you look through that door, there's a house a little ways back there. It's a guy I grew up with. He is a paramedic fireman. And he was as soon as my wife and my son heard me hit the ground, and they called 911. Well, he had his, whatever. I don't know if it's a pager, a cell phone, whatever he was looking at. And it gives him the address that the 911 call was from. And he was like, oh, that's right next door. He ran over here, and I think within about 20 minutes of him being over here, he kicked my wife and my son out of the garage and started administering CPR because I flatlined. I flatlined one more time as more medics filed in. which kind of an interesting story behind that. Every single person in my garage that night, I went to high school with. Kind of, as you can see by me talking about it, kind of it still floors me 5 years later. Like the whole thing, it's not easy to talk about. So, they tried to land a helicopter out here. Helicopter couldn't land because of fog, which when I was in the Army, I was in the 1st of the 101st, which is an aviation unit. It's an Apache helicopter aviation unit, but we always had helicopters around, different Blackhawk Chinooks. I've flown in both. I probably would have freaked out if I would have been put in a helicopter that had to get out of that LZ because it's tight down there. And I'm kind of glad the helicopter didn't land. But they brought me to, if you're wondering, North Memorial Robbinsdale. Saved, after initially getting my life saved in the garage. They are basically they specialize in head injury stuff, brain injury stuff. So that immediate response also saved my life because things can go downhill quick with the brain injury if they don't know what they're doing and they're administering stuff wrong. So, but that's just more of that story. I really didn't plan on telling this story. But like I said, it kind of goes with the garage. So, watching the end of the Vikings game. But, so we are going to work on getting this garage nailed down. I mean, it's been 5 years. It's kind of went through being a thorn in my side. I had all sorts of emotions about this garage because it was something I always wanted, and then it almost killed me. And now I've been struggling to put the pieces back together with it. Other things, I own a semi. So when it comes to tools, I have tools for a lot of different things. I have big, like bigger, heavier duty stuff. The semi cannot fit in here yet. I mean, it does have tall enough ceilings. I just have to modify the 16-foot door to get it in here, which might happen. I want it to happen. My wife don't. She'd rather have me freeze my butt up outside in the winter working on it. In the summer outside, I really don't mind working on it. I do probably 95% of the work on that semi. So there is stuff I bring it into the shop for if I don't want to do it. But, I do probably 95% of the work on the semi. So I have a buttload of tools. So this big box is going to hold the mostly hand tools. The Dewalt Tough System is going to hold 99% of that is truck stuff that I need mobile because it might be out at the end of the driveway if I'm working on it, might be backed up to the garage, but for right now it's never going to be in the garage. So I have to keep everything for that mobile, like very mobile. That's why I bought into the Tough System. Because it's basically what I do right now. So that Ironton cart, I'm not throwing that away. I'm using that. That's also going to be bigger truck stuff that's not used as much, and I can wheel that out and use it as a workbench. The top as a workbench. And that part of the wall right there, the pegboard, that's going to be moved over with because I had to moved that my workbench over. It used to be centered underneath that, but then I got that Cabela's I got that gun cabinet and it was too big, so I had to move things around. I've been doing constant adjustments out here. We're gonna get all of this lined out because as much as I work on the semi, one of the things that takes so long is disorganization of the garage, trying to find what I need, find the tools that I need, and we're gonna try and eliminate 95% of that by organizing everything, and everything will have a spot. And I'm even gonna write it down and do labels on everything where everything is so I can remember, because not that, your memory's 1,000%. I mean, I am 50 years old, but after a brain injury, you kind of realize there's some things that go. So, and that's one of the things is memory. So, I mean, we're not going to get into it with memory. They're just stuff you don't remember. So, but we're going to get going on that. I don't know how much of it I'm going to film. I'm definitely going to film the end of it, but a lot of this will probably just turn into time lapse, and I don't want this video stretching out for years. So, yeah, a lot of it's probably just going to stretch into some time lapse and everything else, and we're going to get going on it. Got her done here, and I'm pretty happy with how it what I got going on right now. So I'm gonna roll through what we got done so far. There's still more to go. This is obviously gonna be the end of this video, but I have other plans in here for better storage. But I'll go over. I didn't video it all. Holy crap, it was so cold out this last weekend that I wasn't running the camera in here because I had the heater going the whole time and it was just cold. So, but what we did was over in this section. So I'll start off with, I added more pegboard. I took the existing pegboard off that I had here, painted it black, added more along here, and then I have these two Vevor storage cabinets. And right here, these are the bigger ones. And then these ones over here, I have 3 of these. These are the smaller ones. They go underneath my overhead storage here. And the nice thing about these ones is I can reach up and see what's inside there. I don't have them labeled. So like this one is, I do need a ladder, obviously, like a little step to get up to pick stuff out of there. But that one's like screws and nails and all that crap. This one is sandpaper and like that kind of stuff, all metalworking stuff, everything like that. And then this one is all paint stuff. So big cabinets, that one's paint. The other one's electrical, just stuff that I can't really throw out. I added electrical plugins here. Didn't touch that one, but added 2 quads right here. This quad has, they also have USB chargers because you end up having to charge a lot of crap. So I added 8 outlets, 4 chargers, 4 USB charging ports, and then painted all the pegboard black. And then in this section over here, I have all my hunting and fishing stuff. I have my Millennium tree stand right here. I have my bow up there. I had to change where this case, I gotta get a different peg for it and put it up higher. I want to switch that around. I want the bow. I want to have easier access to my bow, so I gotta switch that around. I want the bow down lower where I can just grab it off of there. And then I got my gun cabinet and a whole bunch of fishing stuff, shooting stuff. It's kind of like setting up a bait shop here. That's what it felt like. I was back in my old bait shop days. And then when I originally wanted what I wanted up here for on the pegboard, I didn't want to put any tools up here. I thought I'd have enough room over there to do it, but I don't. So there's a set of wrenches here, hammers, stuff like that. And then this is all bracketry. Oh, there's a gear puller right there, but this is all like brackets and stuff that you acquire over time from doing different projects. So, and I like to keep all the brackets because, as you know, an example, I had on my 379, it's a forward tank 379. So I have my steps to get up are tank steps, and one of there, which is aluminum, and one of them kind of wore out and broke off, and I had to buy a bracket to re-secure it because I want to move the tanks back on the truck, so I didn't want to buy new steps for it. And I actually had the brackets here, but I couldn't find them. Actually, I have 4 of them here, but I couldn't find them because they were somewhere on the bench hidden under a whole bunch of crap. So I had to buy one, run to the hardware store and buy a bracket for it. When if I would have had everything all organized like I should, I wouldn't have had to buy one. And obviously there's a big blank spot in the pegboard. There will be stuff added to it. And this is all, like, it starts off as a hodgepodge of crap, but then this is all like screws, self-starting screws, sheet metal screws, the whole gamut, tapes, different tapes from electrical tape to sealant, everything else. That's all in one area. Easy to find what tape you need. And then, like, obviously I'm a Dewalt guy. You can see all my Dewalt stuff. I have Right here I have a 4-port charger for Dewalt batteries. I can store all my batteries up there. Well, some of them, I still have some that I can't find right now. Don't know where they are. And then this is all impacts. That's a 3/8 socket, 3/8 impact, 1/2 inch impact, 1/4 inch impact. And it has, so this, I bought this off of Amazon, and it's all pretty organized on there. Like this is all, greases, cleaners, WD-40, stuff like that. And then, like I like it because you can see everything on it. I kind of wanted everything hidden so you couldn't see all my crap, but one, that's not realistic. I have too much crap. I'd have a whole garage full of cabinets to try and hide everything, and I don't have time for that. And I don't have time to look through cabinets to figure out where everything is either. So, on this hanger, I have set of SAE wrenches, metric wrenches, a holder for pliers and that kind of crap. And then my big box goes underneath that. And the nice thing about this box, this is a Husky 24-inch heavy duty. It's got the workbench right here, but that actually raises up. So, and it's got storage underneath it, because when you have a semi and you work on a semi, you end up with a lot of big stuff. Like this is a 3/4 inch torque wrench I use it, well, for everything on the semi, but its main purpose is for lug nuts, putting tires back on and tightening them back up to specification, which is 450 to 500 pounds. Right now it's set at 500 foot-pounds of torque. So, and it's kind of expensive. It's not a cheap torque wrench. So I like to keep it hidden underneath there. Not because I feel like somebody's going to steal anything in here, but keep dust and crap out of it. But then I have, and I've already, I've had to work on the semi a couple times. I had to work on the 4Runner a couple times since I've got this box. And having everything arranged in there, which took a full weekend to do, because I'm horrible at keeping stuff arranged. But having everything arranged in there is a game changer when it comes to time spent on working on stuff, because you end up wasting half your time looking for the right tool if your tools are not all, if you don't know where they're at. So that's why I bought the big Husky, was because of that. And then the one area left to work on this wall is this area over here after my compressor. I'm going to rearrange all of this, and because you end up with a lot of tools for tire removal and all that kind of, a lot of bigger stuff on semis, and I need a place to put all those. And I'm also gonna I found brackets to hang like jack stands and stuff on, because I have 6 jack stands for car stuff. I have 4 big jack stands for semi stuff, and I'll have them all hanging and stuff. And I'm still, you get into the Dewalt stuff. I have a Dewalt chainsaw, the big DeWalt blower, and then the big DeWalt weed whipper also. So that's all got to stay in this area, along with, even though most of my stuff is battery operated, I still end up using a lot of electrical cords. So those are all going to go, I think, up higher and give me more room for storage on that wall. Right now it's kind of a crapshoot over there. I don't need electrical cords that often. When I need one, I can I can when I need one, I can set a ladder out. I have a little 5-foot ladder that I can get up, and like that's how I get up on this stuff. And well, actually, right now I just climb up on the side by side and pull stuff down from there on the side by sides in here. So, but little 5-foot ladder to get up, because otherwise, if all this stuff is at the ground level, there's no room to do anything in here. You know, you need to use your upper storage in the ceiling, especially when you have as much crap as I do, as many hobbies and everything else. But if you have any ideas for more storage, the one thing I'm not changing is I did this wall. I actually added these doors in right here. The builder wanted too much just to add a door, so I did a patio and everything back there and added in double doors. I can actually drive the side by side through there if I want to get in the backyard. But I'm not really changing this wall too much. I like the way this wall is arranged. I like having a charging center over here for camera stuff, because I run a lot of camera stuff and electronic stuff and everything else. So I like the way that lays out. But the rest of this is all up for change. So I'm gonna end up, if you walk you through the whole, Gimble's freaking out right now. All right, go through the whole garage. So you're gonna end up moving these freezers out of here, so it's gonna open up the back wall. We're doing that for multiple reasons, because I'm gonna raise that garage door to 10 feet so I can get my semi in here. And the semi is 24 feet long. It's a 30-foot deep garage. I need as much room back here as if it's in here and I'm working on it. The one thing about that is I'm gonna have to remove the hood to do any engine related stuff in it, which isn't that big of a deal. I have a cart that I slide up to the bumper. It takes me 5 minutes to take the hood off, so with the wiring and everything. So it's really not that big of a deal to remove. But so this wall too, I will add for storage stuff. Take the bikes down. That bike's been up there for 6 years now. It's my wife's bike. She never uses it. So, but you can see, you know, like right now I have old drives for the semi sitting here that I got to get rid of. You end up with a lot of crap. But the reason when we built this house that I wanted the 30 by 40 garage, here's the elevator, is I like doing woodworking stuff too. So I figured the reason why I built the elevator is so I could have stuff go up and down. Like I could have, you know, woodworking stuff stored up there. And then when I wanted to do a woodworking project or I wanted to build something, I could bring it all down, set it up, scoot everything else out of the garage and do a woodworking project in here. So it's kind of a multi-use garage. I keep saying garage. There's hardly ever a car in here. I mean, it's, unless I'm working on it. You'd think there'd be like 4 cars in here right now because it's 20 below out. They all start. It's the semi that would be in here if I had that door raised. Pretty happy with how everything turned out, but if you have any comments on better storage, then let me know. Leave a comment down below. I appreciate you watching the video. Hopefully, walk over here. Hopefully next week I will have the garage clean, because there sits a bumper for a 4Runner that we want to get on the 4Runner. And I'm hoping next week I can get that done. Get that bumper on there because it's hideous right now. It's got duct tape holding freaking bumper. Well, it's actually not the bumper. The rear bumper has duct tape holding it on because I apparently don't know how to drive. So there's going to be more videos to come. I appreciate you watching. And if you like this video, leave a thumbs up. Thank you.